Hi graad 9's. Ons gaan verder met ons Suurlemoen met hoofstuk 24. And in this chapter, Tiaan just thinks about the week that's been, about how they've tried to practice and how they've tried to write songs. Hulle wil weer liedjies skryf. And he makes this note to himself, another difference between Zane and Tiaan, where he says Zane has got no, he doesn't know what inhibitions are, meaning holding yourself back. And we saw that when he did the auditions, and Tiaan had to explain to him what it means. Then Tiaan's got too many inhibitions, and Zane has got too few. Then we have the taal van die tuinkabouter. Oh, there's a bit of a spelling error there. And Tiaan and Liesel probeer liedjies skryf. We went through this chapter in detail, and you've also been asked this already in a test. So I'm not going to go through this in detail. You've got all the notes and information about this. Same with chapter 26, where it was the competition's 5 weeks away. They've got 2 songs, Limonade and Van My Kop Af. Liesel starts avoiding Zane. Is she messing with him? Remember, if a girl, I say with your mors, it messes with you, so like, does she or doesn't she? And Bongi and Liesel go for coffee, girls only. Then we meet Frick. Remember, he is the rugby player and he also plays the cello. He's the antagonist, and he teases Tiaan, but Bongi and Liesel put their little in, and Bongi calls him Frikkie. And they take no nonsense. Hulle vat geen nonsense nie. And also in this chapter, Mr. Mark says that the Monday evening, they need to do their first gig, their eerste gig, voor die drama club, so opvoering van Romeo and Juliet. So that's where we have Suurlemoen in Shakespeare. Then we have chapter 28 to 29. In both these chapters, we see that Liesel and Tiaan and Zane meet up at Tiaan's house to start making posters. And they use the thing that lemons can generate electricity. So they make the posters for this first gig. Then they have and Mr. Marks in chapter 29, this is another important one that moves the story forward, not only says that they need to do a first gig, but they also need to listen to themselves. Hulle moet na hulle self luister en hulle self opneem on a cassette player. So in chapter 30, they do that. They record themselves so they can listen to it. And right at the end, Zane makes a unusual request where he asks for the keys to take, because he wants to take his guitar home. Hy wil sy gitaar huis toe vat om te oefen. So Zane takes the practice room keys. The next one, we see and meet Psycho Bob and Willem, the 2 nerds of Bleeksiele. And they are the DJs of Hoërskool Sentraal radio station. A funny thing happens, and Frick comes and speaks to them and talks about and makes them aware of the surprise that Psycho Bob and Willem has got lined up for second break. And what happens there is that they play their song Mark Lemonade. The band members know, hulle weet, they didn't send it to the radio station. And they realize that Frick stole the song because he knows exactly what's been happening and where they've been going and what they've been doing, and gave it to the DJs. Zane forgot to lock the class after putting his guitar away. And therefore, we have this little note that Tiaan writes to himself. So, damage control, skadebeheer. What do? Do they get cross and go after Frick, word hulle kwaad, en neem wraak, take revenge on him, or do they just leave it? Bongi says, no, you must just leave it and take the key, and she takes the keys. Do you agree with her? Stem jy saam met haar? The next time Tian's in the bathroom, and he hears someone hum Neri in the bathroom, and he realizes that this person is humming Mark Lemonade. So it wordt a toilet treffer. And Zane rushes to him and tells him that they've also made Psycho Bob and Willem's #1 hit on the top 20 or the top 3 that they've got. So although they didn't do any damage control, the positive effect of this release of the song is that now everyone in the school knows the song and they like it. So that also preempts the first gig on Monday night. In chapter 34, sien ons hoe Tian en Liesel nader aan mekaar kom, how they get together a little bit more. And Tian does something. Remember, this is the one where he thinks about maths and he hates maths, but how on the calculator he can write Liesel's name. And then he makes the important decision, and that's the key action. Hy bel Liesel om TM te ontwerp. So he tells Liesel, please come over. At first she's hesitant because she has other plans, but she then decides to rather go to Tian. And in 35, they are together at the computer working, chatting, and Zane walks in and finds the two together. In that moment, yep, not great, Liesel walks out and Zane walks out on Tian. And the question is Liesel really messing with Zane? And did Zane overreact? We'll continue a little bit later with the last part